Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes, as usual, wearing clothes. I'm wearing a shirt with a Korean girl's face on the front, as usual. Cheryong from ITZY is on here. She's very hot. Anyway, I also love America. Okay, so it's officially um, Satanic month, the month of demons. um, we have President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day. Whatever, just Christmas Day, New Year's Day. But for some reason, we celebrate a whole month of deplorable, I'm using my Hillary Clinton, degenerate, satanic, evil stuff you usually keep to yourself. We're celebrating gay people? That makes no sense. Pride Month, like, I get it. Like, every day's a day, right? Because I've heard of like National Ice Cream Day, or like National like insert anything, and there's a day for, like, I've listened to the radio. It's like, oh, it happens to be National Milk Day or National Cheese Day, National Hot Dog Day. Like, I've heard some weird days, okay? But I don't know why, you know, celebrating a sexuality that only applies to 1% of the world's population. You guys realize that, right? Like, only 1% of the world's population is this bullshit. It doesn't make sense. I mean, if we're gonna celebrate a month, like, why not have Veterans Month? I think that's the first thing that we should make a month-long celebration, is Veterans Month. I don't understand. I really don't understand. It's like, this is obviously the unlisted podcast, but I on my regular podcast, I've never made my love of anything my personality. So, all jokes aside, like, everyone has a type. So imagine if your personality was, I like redheads. That'd be a very weird person. Or I like, well, obviously I like skinny Asian chicks. I love K-pop. But if I introduced myself to you as, hey, my name is Frank, I like skinny Asian chicks, you'd be like, what? It's just not normal. And then, I don't want to know what you do in your bedroom. I don't need to know what you do behind closed doors. And imagine straight month, or as I would just call normal month, and you had parades of straight people wearing bondage gear, doing sexual acts in front of children. You would think it was insane. And then you have it in the schools, where you have teachers who are obviously pedophiles because they feel comfortable talking to children about gay stuff. Because if a heterosexual teacher started talking about his or her sex life to their class, everyone would be like, what is going on? South Park, they called it on that one episode where if a person claimed to be whatever, trans or gay, whatever, they could just do whatever they want. Like they could talk to a kid about butt plugs. Oh no, it's okay. I'm trans. It just doesn't make sense. It just really doesn't. And it doesn't matter what you believe in, but you know, a majority of people. Sorry, a lot of. I don't know the exact number because how would I know the exact number? But there's a lot of. I think Muslims and Christians are the two most popular religions, and they both came from the same place. There was a nomadic tribe, and it's split up. One went east, one went west. The west, their religion slowly turned into Christianity. The ones that went east, their religion slowly turned into Muslim. That's why they kind of look the same, kind of. But they're two sides of the same coin, basically. Like just for the sake of all the religious people, because supposedly there's a lot of religious people around the world, you think celebrating something that is against their God for a whole month would just be horrible? I don't understand that. To me, that almost seems like religious persecution. If you have to live in a place, let's say like you're a devout Muslim or devout Christian, and you live in a place where for a whole month it's just like they're like promoting satanic bullshit and it's all over the place. That must be horrible. Or we can all just live peacefully and just, keep the propaganda to yourself. Like I don't know, like I don't go around trying to convince people that they should like skinny Asian chicks, because that's just weird. Now I know when I talk about K-pop, I'll go, hey, like if you don't like it, you can still give it a chance because they're hot. You can just turn the sound down and you'll probably still like the visuals. But I'm not going to schools and telling children to you know what I mean. Or I'm not trying to like throw it in your face and like protesting, demanding, and then like make you fly a K-pop flag over a government building. It's weird. It's like it went from it went from I just want acceptance and like you can't fire me from a job based on who I date. Like I get that. Like you can't like not hire someone because they're a certain religion, gender, boys and girls, or a race. That makes sense. Or sexuality. That makes sense. But it's gone to a point where it's like they're just pushing, like you're trying to change 99% of society. I don't understand why this fringe, like very fringe group is getting all this. Because last time I checked, the Constitution protects men and women the same. Race doesn't matter. And there's nothing that says that people who do weird stuff in the bedroom don't get rights. So I don't know why we even have a thing now. I don't understand why we need to push this bullshit. And people don't like it because most people are normal. So I don't understand. And obviously the real reason why is to destroy America. think about it. If you can get children to be indoctrinated with this bullshit, that's gonna make weak men, because those boys are gonna grow up to, be all fucked up in the head. You're gonna have, and the same thing with little girls, and they're obviously not gonna have kids because a normal person's not gonna wanna be with a person like that. And and that's another thing. The main reason why, like, take away the propaganda, okay? Take away all the mostly far left extremists who want to have transgender people in the army, or put, or have like trans people in politics. Like, that should not be, because that's a person with a mental disorder. Like, I don't want a gay senator. I don't want a gay mayor. I want a I want a person that's married with children to be in politics, because those people make better decisions. But because if you don't, you make selfish decisions, and decisions that aren't beneficial for society. Because, like, you have no stake in the game. But the one good thing about homosexuality is, what does that person not do? That person's not going to have kids. And that's nature weeding out the undesirables that are going to ruin our gene pool. I do believe that. Like, because we're only here because, think about it. Like, when life first started, like, whatever, 3 billion years ago, I'm talking about, like, the, single cell animals, and it goes on from there. Like, all of us are descendants from that. So if you think about it, your lineage goes back 3 billion years, because it all started from that one thing. But along the way, nature has weeded out certain people, certain animals, whatever, that aren't qualified to mate and reproduce. And we can make it simple. Like, there's certain birds, they have to build a nest, and then depending on how nice the nest is, then it will attract a female bird. And then once they can't do it, they don't get to lay eggs. I mean, they don't get to procreate. Or you could do it to humans. It's like, usually men, like modern days actually, they have to have money. So, like, if you're a guy that doesn't want to make a certain amount of money, you're not going to attract a girl to procreate. Or if you're a girl, if you're like fat, your chances are very, a lot lower that you're going to find a man that's going to want to mate with you and have kids. So, like, nature has a way of weeding out undesirables. Or you're gay. So obviously a lesbian or whatever is not going to find a mate. So, I mean, like, there is a good reason for this existing, but it shouldn't be promoted, because now you're artificially making people undesirable. And at a very young age, they're way, like, people. This is what I understand. It's like, either people are evil, or just don't remember. Hey, you were 6 years old once, and you're telling me that you think it's okay in your adult age to talk to a 6-year-old about this bullshit, or like have them see it. So either they're stupid, they're evil. I don't know. It's really weird. And I'm talking about, like, these fag parades, but I have noticed that on my X, I haven't seen a lot of pro gay propaganda. And let's look. Melanie Mack is one of my favorites.
You know what I am sick and tired of? Faggots. Can't post anything on social media because somebody's offended with some crayon flag in their bio. Faggots! They got like this furry, tooty, pornography crap. Faggots! Can't even get an email. Because when you get an email from a business, a corporation, whatever, pronouns and the signature. Faggots! You got homos buying children.
Yeah.
What kid wants two faggot daddies? Faggots! What happened to the closet? Is the closet just public square now? Faggots!
I love her. I agree with everything she said. She's a devout Christian. She's had enough. Obviously, she's had enough. But see, the thing is, I see more of this now, like people, and we have to thank Elon Musk because there's actually free speech on X now. But I see more of this. I see more anti, like, keep it to yourself. Like, if you want to be gay, fine, but keep it to yourself. And that's how it should be. But like, as I go down my feed, like, I don't see a bunch of I saw like two videos of a gay pride parade, and it was grown men in Speedos dancing in front of children. Now here's the thing. Who are the parents that bring their kids to a gay pride parade? I don't get this. Like, there's something really weird about like far left woke people. I don't know. It's very disturbing, and I don't know. Let's see. I'm just typing up a random company, so I typed up Mazda. And see, like, they didn't, because like normally they would want to make this a rainbow, but like I've noticed that more and more companies are not celebrating it. Because why? Why would you? Let's see if IBM does it. No, IBM has a normal sign. That's good. That's good. Yeah, because it's like, why? That's just two random companies. I don't know, like Hasbro. No, they have a normal. They didn't make it gay. It's just normal. That's good. How about Target? No, Target's normal. Uh-oh. My Southern California Target, June 1st, 2024 versus Target now. Oh, okay. So this was last year's. This was last year's Target. And remember, there was lots of protest. Trans people will always exist. No. They're like, imagine just being a normal person going in the Target and you get this bullshit. But Target now, well, good. I mean, like, because this won't cause protest. You can still be gay, but you're not offending 99% of regular people. I don't care what they say, because I've talked to people at the barbecue where people are honest and they don't like faggots. Okay? When you insult someone, you call them gay. There's a reason why. Okay? You are less. It's just how it is. You get the same rights as all of us, but you are less of a person, because you are a person that is not good enough to procreate. You're not good enough to attract someone of the opposite sex to have a child. That is the whole purpose of our existence, is to have a child, procreate, because we wouldn't exist if 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 like, okay, the way the media portrays this, you would think half the population's gay. If that was true, we would have gone extinct a long time ago, or we'd be growing kids in labs, I guess. Okay? And then how much money the target, like supporting gay stuff, you lose money now, because people are done, because it's not about acceptance anymore. It's about this tiny part of the population wants to control society. Imagine a society that's just totally gay. It would fall. It's not sustainable. But see, the reason why all these companies I showed aren't doing the gay shit, it's because it's not profitable. They're losing money. So they have, like, if you're an investor, like Target got sued by their stockholders because they knowingly did something that they knew would make the stock drop. And they're not the only company that got sued by their stockholders. So if you keep doing something that causes your company to lose money on purpose, yeah, that's a problem. Look what happened to Bud Light. Let's type up Bud Light. Well, I spelled it wrong, but hold on. Oh, here we go. Bud Light. I just saw it. Yeah, see, normal. Bud Light still hasn't recovered because Bud Light made a trans dude a frigging, the guy wasn't just gay, he was so gay he pretended to be a woman. And you're gonna think, okay, who drinks Bud Light or Budweiser? Okay, I can tell you who drinks Budweiser. High school kids and people in their early 20s. Because the only time I've drank Bud Light was between the age of like 16 to 22. Like it is the number one beer at high school parties. And the working man, the I have a blue collar job, whatever, I lay cement, I do construction. I just have a, 9 to 5 job, a blue collar job. Okay, so the average man that has a job like that is a man, a heterosexual man. And do you think he wants to pick up a Bud Light and when he cracks the can open, he has a mental picture of rainbow flags and fags? No. I haven't touched Budweiser since they had Dylan Mulvaney as a spokesperson. And I don't know how many years ago that was. I think that was 2, right? I haven't touched it since. Now I know I didn't drink it on a regular basis, but it's, if you go to a bar, someone will give you a Budweiser. It's very common beer. So, and yeah, people still don't drink it. It was a number one beer, but I know it's not now. I don't know where it dropped to. It's probably number 3. But I mean, that's what happened. You remember Harley Davidson? I think Harley Davidson went gay. Let's see if Harley Davidson is doing it. I probably spelled it wrong. Oh no, Harley Davidson learned their lesson. They're not pushing the gay shit anymore. Even with them, they lost a lot of customers because they were going woke. Who buys Harley Davidsons? Um, Straight men and women, like manly men, feminine women. Feminine women that smoke and drink, but still they're feminine women. So you gotta know. Like, here's the problem. The reason why it was cool before, because you had a lot of people virtue signaling, like, oh yeah, I support it, but I don't really. But I want to come off as one of the good people, when in actuality you're one of the bad people. And then people finally woke up and were like, it's okay not to pretend to like this. And that's what happened. People stopped pretending. I never pretended. Because, once again, I don't think what you find attractive should be celebrated. Like, why? Why is that? Means you have to celebrate everyone. So, like, you got to take, like, whatever, your average black guy on welfare. So, like, he likes fat white chicks. So, like, you have to have a fat white chick month. Are you gonna really do that? Probably not. And then you have to look to see who's really behind all of this stuff. The people who are behind all of this, pushing this evil stuff onto society, if you look into it, they're not good people, and their main goal is to make America weaker. Look at countries that are strong. And I know I've said this before, but I think Russia is a strong country. Because, like, when I think of Russia, I think of, like, not, I know they're not, they're having a problem with who are they at war with? I forgot. Oh yeah, Ukraine. I don't know why Russia hasn't taken over Ukraine yet. Like, if I was in charge of Russia, it would have taken me one day to conquer Ukraine, because I would have dropped 3 nukes. But that's just me. But when I think of them, I think of, like, Russian mobsters. I think of the KGB. Like, I think of Vladimir Putin, like, wrestling a bear. Whether it's true or not, it's just you have a tough, manly image. Okay? And that's good. Like, if the Russian army, like, invaded us, I'd be like, oh shit. Because their army has a bunch of men. I don't know what we have. It's like changing back to being normal. But that matters. I saw a video of Chinese elementary school students. Like, they were boys though, and they were teaching them, like, manly stuff, like push-ups, sit-ups. Like, it looked like basic training. And like they were fighting, like they were teaching him, like, like, it's okay to be a man. Like, those kids are gonna grow up to be men. It's like the complete opposite of what's going on over here in America. We've raised a generation of cucks, faggots, and punks. And I'm not talking about the musical punk. People who are emotional. Men that have the emotional awareness and control of a woman. And that's why you have all these, impulse crimes. But anyway, I'm glad things are kind of turning around, because even in media, you have these movies, TV programs that have, like, weak men failing. A perfect example is Marvel with the MCU. They, like, made that into a girl brand, and that failed because there's no strong men. and like people are rejecting this stuff. And, it's media, but that's part of the culture though. And if like you can affect the entertainment, you're affecting the culture, because like people are influenced by stuff and they don't even know they're influenced by stuff. So things are slowly like I can't tell you the last time I saw a commercial that had like a gay couple instead of a straight couple. Because like, you remember when commercials were like normal and was like a family promoting a product, and then it slowly turned into, oh look, this person has two dads. Like, what? Oh look, it's a lesbian couple buying a house instead of a husband and a wife with three kids. Like, what happened? I mean, that's satanic to me. That's anti-American. That's anti-prosperity. I remember there's a bank I did not go to because on the wall they're showing, people opening up a bank account and it's like this lesbian couple. I'm like, I don't want to see that when I come into the bank. You're kowtowing to, lesbian couple, to literally 1% of the population. What are you doing? Let's just say, and this is illegal, but let's just say that bank said no fags allowed. Nothing would happen to them because the average customer, 99% of them, are straight and don't like gay people. Now, I know it's against the law, so that would never happen. But I'm just saying, if you had a donut shop and it said straight people only, they would not go out of business. Okay? That's just how it is. Because a lot of people would agree and actually go there because it said that. But that's how people really feel, but they're afraid to say it. It's because if you have the wrong people in charge, they can like kind of change society a little bit and try to make something that's horrible, make that the norm. But it seems, I guess, the silent majority is starting to speak up. And then remember, a place like Target, for example, that's where families go, and that's where like women shop there and they bring their kid. So imagine being a mom. You're with your 6-year-old because you're just whatever buying paper towels, and your kid has to ask, "Hey, well, what does that mean? The shirt says there's a shirt like there's a display right there. It says trans. Like, what does that mean?" Do you think that person wants to have that conversation with their kid? No, because children are children. Let children be children. Why do they have to know about that? It makes no sense. But I'm glad things are changing back to normal. But entertainment is the one thing where, like the battle is still going on, because, like entertainment, like sometimes stuff gets made like 6 years ago, but it comes out now. So there's still going to be a wave. But the thing is, those things aren't making money. And so you can only lose so much money before you have to change, because it's not about right, not about wrong. It's not about your ideology. At least when it comes to these businesses, it's about money. It's about the bottom line. Anyway, I've said enough. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.